here is that we can't do enough via manual intervention to handle security, which means we have to move towards technology. And that is where Ashwin was talking about, that it's very important that we invest, or we start looking to invest in security experts, and therefore hackers in the room, you become more critical. Now, the most unfortunate part is, since this is a new world, so we have no other choice but to believe youngsters. How many of us feel that? But when it comes about believing in real term, that is the threat, right? Because you have to give money, you have to engage them, you have to trust them. They may sound very aggressive, they may sound very curious, they may talk some highly technological things, but then there is a disconnect. And that is where the question comes, awareness. So I think in the last panel somebody talked about awareness, right? Trust me guys, we have no choice. Trust these guys in the room. You know what? There is no other option. If you feel that you don't have enough security guards in your home, right? And you can't hire infinite. So that is the second important aspect on security. Now coming to the third part. Information security. The term for technology has been coined as information security. It is not just security now. The problem with this term is, when information comes, automatically it actually denotes towards the digital way of doing things, right? Even in car manufacturing, how many of you have gone to the real manufacturing unit? Coke, Pepsi, car, steel. How many of you have gone there? Cement. So approximately 20%. And this is the time for rest 80% to meet these guys. The machines which have been put in there, they were the first form of technology innovation, wherein they started extrapolating how humans do work. And therefore all the things in conjunction happens over the machine. And from there the further extrapolation had come is that when we say www, which no one knows where it is housed. Have you seen where www is housed? Who in the room has seen it? That server where it is actually kind of operating. So we can't see it, right? It's digital. And that is where the advent of information has come. And therefore, it's very important to be trained into that. Today, one of the biggest problem we have is that several speak about it, but they are not trained over it. Do we agree to that? And the worst part is that several of leaders like us, we speak about it, but we are not trained over it. How many of us are courageous enough to accept that? Can we raise our hands? Right? So this is the third problem. We have to go back and understand it's a science. How many of us have, whosoever have done engineering, have done it in 6 months? Okay, let me make it a little bit better. 2 years. Okay, 3 years. Few may be there for 6 years. Right? But nobody is before 4 years. Which means that we got trained. This is also a science. It takes years to get trained. This is the third problem which we are facing today. And maybe we are at the start of that problem. Few countries have overcome this and they have certain subjects around this. Fourth, which security to handle? Now, if I may ask, on digital security, what is that first thing you would want to handle? What will it be?
My apologies, Mr. Chandra, if you could kindly...
Sure. So you know what Vin said, that we all are learning here. So I didn't want to talk about that, how we will go into the solution. But these all are the questions to tickle, and maybe we'll discuss more in the open house. And thank you so much for being so patient. I see lots of you have forgotten lunch. Hold it for 20 more minutes. Thank you.
Sorry for, with the emergence of online banking system and mobile banking, the financial sector has become increasingly vulnerable to cyber crimes like phishing and skimming. We have Mr. Baswata Sinha Roy, who serves as the Global Head of Professional Services Group of Bank, Finance and Insurance. This group reimagines various customer experiences through various delivery and consulting engagements and co-create and engineer custom journeys with agile and iterative methods. Mr. Sinha Roy.
I'm sorry, many of you may not like to see me also because I'm just standing between you and the lunch. I will try to make it as short as possible, maybe 10 minutes. But I'm trying to make it a little bit interesting, okay? So I'm not going to talk about, how cybercrime should be controlled, what are the different processes. I'm just going to give you some example because I come from an industry where we need to face our customers day in and day out, where they will talk about their problems that we need to solve, and they have a lot of constraints as well. Like some of my previous colleagues said that training is one of the issue. Trust me, all the customers are also facing the same challenge. Their employees just don't want to spend time on training, but they want to learn everything, they want to know everything, but without spending any time. So that is one of the CIO who was discussing with us, this is his problem, how he can solve it, because he wanted to protect his data. This particular customer of us is a healthcare customer. Now, they were doing a patent filing process, entire digital process that they're going through. So, if I can explain you the problem, so the company missed the sales target, it missed the productivity, it missed the right time of filing the patent because competition filed it before, and finally, it also missed the overall annual profit, or rather the annual results was so bad, the stock price came down by 46% in one day. That's the situation when we have been called to do an audit for their firm, what exactly went wrong there. So if you really look at it, the way the problem came in, this is not a one-day affair. 6 months it took to really, make an impact on this organization, and business-wise, almost, make them a pauper. That's what it is. So how it has happened? So we can talk about various, techniques. We have a spear phishing, watering hole attacks, different type of attacks that we know. Hackers are very much aware of all of these. So 6 months of intelligence happened on different type of data, what the company is preserving. And then this data scientifically exported out of the organization. And then finally, full knowledge about the organization business model. Now all these things cannot happen only by a set of individuals who are sitting outside your organization. There are people who are inside your organization who are also helping them or providing them certain platform to come and perform their experiments, and thereby you are sacrificing on your company's security. And that's a common problem. If I can show you some data on this, in US, 52% of such crimes are happening because of the internal problems rather than the external problem. That's the data. So if I just tell you this is the problem, then what we have given as a remedy to the customer, okay? And that's where probably I will stop. 5 more minutes? So what we have told the customer to adopt, basically a 3A strategy. First A is the activate. When we looked into we did a floor walk, and trust me, half of the computers are not even having the endpoint security installed there. So it is not at all secured. Your data is not at all secured. So first we asked, typically what type of percentage of your overall, expenses you put into this particular bucket. The answer came 9%. Then we looked into the books of records. It is not even 9%. The last policy implementation happened 1.5 years back. It's age old. After that, hackers have gone miles away. But you are still sitting on the same policy. It doesn't work anymore. So like we go and do a painting of our house, we take the car for our servicing. It is important that you look at your policy no later than 3 months. Every 3 months you should conduct an audit and see what are the new things that are happening in the market and implement the best practice again and again. You also need to understand every time you go for a security transformation, you need to have a clear mandate from the board. So you need to have an additional buy-in from them that this much of money you are going to spend on that particular topic. That is needed. Have you defined your matrices? How you are going to attack this kind of a cybercrime? There has to be some metrics that you need to define. Now there is a lengthy process, I will not get into that, but that is bare minimum it is needed for the organization to run with it. Then you come to the second part, which is the adoption part. What do you do with it? You need to decide in this entire security policy, what all you do in-house, what all you will outsource. Very critical decision, but please understand there are third parties available in the market who are honest, good business model, they want to help you as a partner. You need to trust them because they are the subject matter expert. And you cannot build each and every skill in-house. You have to depend on your partner, but trusted partner. That is also key. And definitely, third one, the third A will come about the adaptation, and then it will come for the anticipation part of it. How this anticipation will work? We need a lot of forensic data to anticipate when the next threat can come. And I am happy to say, when we have given this particular report to the customer, we told them, you are going to face a similar kind of attack in the next quarter because your next product is going to be launched. So please ensure all your R&D related data stored in some other place using some other security techniques. And that is possibly after 3 attempts, they have launched their product ahead of their competition because the data is secured that time. And when we look at that particular data and how we secured it, and when they went back and look at their entire organization, how they're procuring their, or rather protecting their whole organization data, there is a hell and heaven difference. Because while protecting this data, the amount of money they have invested and the amount of money they are actually investing or invested or still they're going to invest, if you add all 3, it is still not good enough whatever they have spent for this particular small piece of data. So that is important. So first we need to understand what all are the assets that we wanted to protect. Second, at what cost. Number 3, how it will help us in terms of our growth and strategy. Are we considering security also as part of our strategy and growth? Till the time we understand and we appreciate and we accept that fact, we continue to live in the world where we will face this kind of a cyber attacks, and then we will go back and do a post-mortem, come back with a policy, but that is of no use. So rather than reactive, we need to be proactive and ensure that we really invest time, money, training, everything into this and protect our data and thereby our organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sinharoy. Since we have three persons from 3 different sectors, we'll take 3 questions. If anyone has any questions, please. Yes, please. No, may not be.
So,
So since he talked about e-commerce, I'm just assuming that it is pointed towards me. So let me just answer this one for you. So I think I should have concluded it with this last statement that first, when you are shopping on Flipkart or Myntra, you are 100% protected and you are 100% secured, right? So that's part one. Part two, it is not just basic level of security, which actually any company deals with who are into the business of data. There is a proactive security measures also which are taken. For an example, if I have to talk it in layman's term, if somebody wants to break your house, then you do not wait till the time somebody breaks your house. You have some cameras before to let you know that somebody is trying to enter your premises, which in turn can break your house, right? So such kind of various such technology parameters, checkpoints, and agents, alerts which are there. Second, on the apps side, so I'm not sure how true those statistics are, but they sound to be very interesting. In my viewpoint, these are not true statistics. And the media house which would have published, I think you should question them where they got that statistics. But when you talk about iOS, App Store, Apple Store, or even Android base which is coming in, when these Play Stores, when they are storing your apps, if any one of you have developed any apps and registered on Play Store, there are several level of check that your apps goes through. Now when you put it into public IP, which is your internet, etc., from there the situation of hacking starts, right? Not from where the storage box is. Now in that zone, yes, it's a continuous journey. Are we there as a country, as an industry, to say that it's fully secure? We want to believe that. We do work into that space. But as this is a technology, this also keeps growing. Hence, we are also growing along with them for solutions.
I'm sorry, lunch is getting cold. So if we can have one small offline, you can discuss. Yeah. Sure, sure. I think we would request Bengal Chamber to organize one to how to hack this thing. That would possibly make it easier for all of us to know how to protect it. Thank you all very much.
I think there is one question from
can you please take it later, because we are beyond schedule. Thank you very much.
Before we formally close this, may we request Mr. Radhakrishnan to please present the mementos to our speakers, to Mr. Ashwin Srivastav. To Mr. Saurav Chandra. To Mr. Bhashwata Sinha Roy. And may we request Mr. Debe Mukherjee to please present memento to Mr. Radhakrishnan. Ladies and gentlemen, let us try and gather here, say around 3:10, We have very interesting session, the stakeholders of cyber security, and we have representation from Kolkata Police, legal practitioner, IBM, and Executive Director of CDAC Kolkata. Thank you.